Welcome to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill on an absolutely glorious morning. I am Ron Strauss, Executive Associate Provost and Chair of the Commencement Committee. It is my pleasure to introduce the academic procession and begin the commencement ceremony. Please welcome the distinguished representatives of the faculty, led by Faculty Marshal Professor Valerie Ashby. The candidates for doctoral, master's, and professional degrees, and the candidates for baccalaureate degrees. Please welcome the members of the class of 1960, returning to celebrate their 50th class reunion. Chancellor Holden Thorpe and the distinguished members of the Platform Party, led by Faculty Marshal Valerie Ashby.
Welcome to the spring commencement ceremony of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. The members of the UNC-Chapel Hill Air Force ROTC will present the colors. Catherine Margaret Park, candidate for the Bachelor of Music degree, will lead us in the singing of the National Anthem. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Please be seated. Good morning. Today we continue a tradition that began in 1798 when the first 7 graduates received their diplomas. 212 years later, there are more than 5,630 of you. 3,347 undergraduates, 1,397 master's students, 262 doctoral graduates, and 624 professional students. This is your day. And all of us join you in this celebration of your academic achievement. Today is also Mother's Day, so I extend a very special welcome to all the mothers in the audience. Please join me in showing our gratitude to them. I'd also like for all of us to thank the citizens of North Carolina for their generous support of this university and the entire UNC system. In good times and bad, this state has made higher education a priority. In this economy, tough choices have to be made. And as I look out over this beautiful sea of light blue today, I see the value of investing in the future. This year's graduating class includes 7 students who have completed the requirements for UNC's joint degree program with the National University of Singapore. Along with 1 person who graduated in December, they are the first students to earn degrees through this program. Carolina is proud to have this valuable relationship with one of the most prestigious universities in Asia. The class of 2010 also includes 17 seniors who yesterday received their commissions as ensigns and 2nd lieutenants in the Navy, Army, and Air Force. These young men and women will leave Chapel Hill for active duty. They join other Tar Heels students, alumni, faculty, and staff who are already serving on active duty or in the reserves. Our thoughts and prayers go with all of them. To all the members of the class of 2010, thank you for your support of the senior campaign. The class officers and marshals endorsed the University Library Endowment, and all senior gifts counted in the campaign. Over 1,000 seniors made gifts to many areas across campus. Thank you. Joining me on the platform today are a number of distinguished people. I will introduce them now, and please hold your applause until all have been recognized. Winston Crisp, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. Steve Matson, Dean of the Graduate School. McKay Coble, Professor of Dramatic Art and Chair of the Faculty. Keith Lee, President of the Graduate and Professional Students Federation. Maggie Stafira, President of the Senior Class of 2010. And Sebastian Williams, Vice President of the Senior Class of 2010. It is now my honor to introduce Hannah Gage of Wilmington, North Carolina, Chair of the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina. Ms. Gage will be presenting the Board of Governors Excellence in Teaching Award. Hannah Gage.
Good morning. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today to bring greetings from the University of North Carolina's Board of Governors as we celebrate the graduation of the class of 2010. Today's ceremony is especially meaningful to me because today I'm wearing two hats. I'm here as chair of the Board of Governors, but I'm also here as a proud parent. Our son, Dawson, is somewhere out there in this incredible sea of Carolina blue, probably feeling both excited, this is worrisome, excited, anxious, and a little bit terrified, like every graduate here today and like graduates here have felt for 212 years. As you navigate through these emotions today, I hope you'll take with you one reassuring thought. You're departing with a world-class education and a degree from the best public university in this country. Our hope for everyone graduating today is that while you were here at Carolina, learning and living, that you found your passion, that subject or idea or path that made your heart beat a little faster. And if you found that passion, it was probably because you had an extraordinary teacher who opened your mind to a new world, a teacher who turned on a light and changed everything. It's my privilege today to present this year's Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching to one of your most outstanding faculty members. Established by our board in 1994 to underscore the importance of teaching and to reward great teachers across the university. The awards are given annually to a tenured faculty member from each UNC campus. Recipients are nominated by special committees on their home campuses and then selected by the Board of Governors. Each winner receives a bronze medallion and a cash award. Would Chancellor Thorpe and Professor Rachel Willis please come forward? Professor Rachel Willis believes the whole world is her classroom. And her students often say, where there's a Willis, there's a way. Dr. Willis is the Bowman and Gordon Gray Distinguished Associate Professor of American Studies and Adjunct Professor of Economics. Dr. Willis' research and public service focus on access to work in the American economy. She challenges students inside and outside the classroom to think about the bigger picture, to look beyond the textbooks, to look beyond the classroom, to look at the real world. If you happen to be passing by the Durham train station one morning about 6 o'clock last October, you might have bumped into Dr. Willis and her class, catching the train to Charlotte to learn about the new light rail system. When the subject was the textile industry, Dr. Willis and her class hopped on a bus, traveled across the state, and visited 3 hosiery factories to learn on site about that industry. Her students refer to the hosiery class as Socks 101. All of these activities are field research projects designed to add practical experience to her American Studies course. Her students say, what Professor Willis teaches is life. Since arriving at UNC in 1982, Dr. Willis has educated, inspired, and transformed the lives of hundreds of students. She earned her undergraduate degrees in political science and economics from the University of California at Riverside, a master's degree in economics from the University of Notre Dame, and a doctorate in economics from Northwestern University. Professor Willis, today we celebrate your outstanding professional achievement and honor your commitment to great teaching. In honoring you, we also acknowledge the more than 14,000 dedicated faculty members who teach over 220,000 students throughout the University of North Carolina. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Rachel. It's wonderful to have you up here with us. Thank you, Ms. Gage. I'm now pleased to introduce my boss, the president of the University of North Carolina System, Erskine Bowles.
You know, I can't help but think how great it is. Think about it, Tar Heels. Those guys 8 miles away have to look up and see this sky. Isn't it great? I'm going to tell you something. This is my last ceremony as president of this university. And it's been the greatest personal privilege of my adult life. But I'll tell you something really personal. You can't love a place any more than I love it right here at Chapel Hill. It is my alma mater, and you are so blessed because in a few minutes, it will be yours. To this fabulous class of 2010, let me say I know firsthand how proud your friends and your parents and your family are of you today. They're proud of you because they know just how hard each of you have worked to earn, and I want to stress that word, earn, your degree from Chapel Hill. A diploma from this great university is something that each of you can be proud of for the rest of your lives. And let there be no question in your mind, the total experience you have had here at Chapel Hill has prepared each and every one of you with the knowledge and the 21st century skills that you will need to compete and compete successfully with the world's best and brightest wherever they may be. As you leave our alma mater, continue to hold this great university close to your heart. In the years ahead, I hope you will be both her staunchest advocate and a loving critic. I wish each of you my heartfelt congratulations on this your big day, and I am so thankful I had a chance to share it with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Bowles. I'm now pleased to introduce the chair of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Mr. Bob Winston.
Good morning. It is my honor to bring greetings on behalf of the University of North Carolina Board of Trustees and to all the degree recipients and their families. I offer you the sincerest congratulations. As a Carolina alumnus myself, I am part of a Winston family tradition that stretches back to the university's founding. Like you, my ancestors graduated and left Chapel Hill prepared to take on the challenges of their day. Some of them, like some of you, I hope, found that their path brought them back to this university, and their work here made it better for future generations. You have earned an outstanding education here at Carolina, learning from some of the most talented scholars and researchers in the world. You have a sound understanding of your academic discipline and a greater appreciation for the interconnected world that we live in. As a Carolina student, you face small and large challenges. From getting up 3 times a week for that 8 a.m. class to navigating a new language and culture through study abroad, and all the way to the last final exam before today. You learned how to meet those challenges and to find the path to your own success. Many friends, family members, and mentors helped you, and in turn, you helped others through your engagement and public service. The people of North Carolina have invested in your education through the support of the university, and that investment continues to pay off. And not just for North Carolinians, but for people all over the world. Whether you are heading for the job market or a few more years of education, the challenges that you faced here will help you thrive and succeed. You are leaving behind the irritation of getting up for an 8 a.m. class, but you are taking with you the knowledge and skills, lifelong friendships, and mentors who will always provide you advice and counsel. You also still have the support of the people of North Carolina. So it's time to go out there, smarter, stronger, and make a difference. Make us proud that you are now and forevermore a Carolina Tar Heel. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I wish each and every one of you best of luck and Godspeed on your return to this special place on the Hill. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bob. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Randy Jones, past chair of the General Alumni Association, who brings greetings on behalf of the 273,951 living alumni. Randy.
Thank you, Chancellor. Good morning. All right, everybody's awake. Congratulations, class of 2010. Yes. After years of hard work, countless anxious moments, and bottomless cups of coffee, you have earned your degree from Carolina. You and your family and your friends can be justifiably proud. Though you leave Carolina today with your degree, your involvement with Carolina does not end. Now you join the largest and the only permanent part of our Carolina family. You are now among the over 270,000 Carolina alumni. The General Alumni Association is the official organization of all former Carolina students. The GAA will keep you informed about and connected with your university, your classmates, through your local Carolina club events and other alumni activities, and through our award-winning bi-monthly issue of the Carolina Alumni Review. As our newest alumni, you will be particularly interested in our alumni career services programs and opportunities to network. You were a Carolina student for a few short years, but you'll be a Carolina alumnus forever. Don't drop out now. Let the GAA help you, as it has helped me living in California, to take Carolina with you wherever you call home. And one final request: wherever you may move and whenever you move, change jobs, get married, or have children, please be sure to share this news with our Alumni Association. Again, congratulations to you all, and hark the sound.
Thank you, Randy. Each year, the faculty selects individuals who have given especially distinguished service to this university, this state, the nation, and the world. Upon these individuals, we are privileged to confer honorary degrees in recognition of their achievements and their impact on society. I call upon Bruce Carney, Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, and Registrar Chris Derrickson to assist with this ceremony. Professor Joseph Farrell, Albert Coates Professor and Secretary of the Faculty, will come forward to read each citation.
Will Dean James Dean please conduct forward Paul Joseph Rizzo?
Paul Rizzo's connections with Carolina came 4 decades apart and in very different venues. He excelled in both. Rizzo's first encounter with Kenan Stadium was 60 years ago or more as a young football star on what many remember as Carolina's greatest football team of all time. 40 years later, he sat on this stage as an academic dean, presenting candidates for graduate and undergraduate degrees. Today, he stands in Kenan Stadium again to receive the highest honor his alma mater can confer. After graduating with a degree in accounting, Rizzo embarked on a business career that culminated in the position of vice chair of the board and chief financial officer of IBM. Then, a chance encounter with a Carolina trustee on a plane headed for Japan led to his appointment as dean of the Kenan-Flagler Business School. That was a bold move, Chancellor for Christopher Fordham, because Rizzo had no previous experience in higher education leadership. His strengths were to be in strengthening ties to North Carolina's business community and preparing Carolina's graduates for the increasing globalization of business. Rizzo's administration initiated an era of phenomenal growth in Kenan-Flagler. He emphasized the executive program. He energized the trustees and Kenan-Flagler supporters by insisting that Carolina could and should compete with the best business schools in the nation. He pushed for a new building, and he was the first dean to advocate tuition increases that would be specifically targeted to support the students of his school. At the end of his 5-year term as dean, Rizzo had raised Kenan-Flagler to national stature. His leadership roles at Carolina include membership on the Board of Visitors, the UNC Healthcare System Board of Directors, the Educational Foundation, the Executive Committee, and the UNC Board of Governors. Kenan-Flagler's Paul J. Rizzo Conference Center at Meadowmont is named in his honor. Rizzo's philanthropic work includes a leadership role in the Carolina First campaign. He has been honored with the 1994 William Richardson Davey Award and the General Alumni Association's Distinguished Service Medal. For outstanding accomplishments in business, higher education administration, and philanthropy, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Paul Joseph Rizzo the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Paul Joseph Rizzo, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Will Hodding Carter please conduct forward Eugene Leslie Roberts, Jr.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present Eugene Leslie Roberts, Jr., who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
His adoring newsroom referred to Gene Roberts as the Green Frog because his usual reaction to their complaints and pleas was silence, followed eventually by brevity. But for a man who makes Gary Cooper seem talkative, Roberts has been passionately eloquent in print and speech on the responsibilities of a free press to a free society. Roberts came by his calling naturally, and he pursued it with integrity and professional genius for more than half a century. Early in his career, he wrote a farm column for his hometown newspaper, the Goldsboro News Argus, titled Rambling in Rural Wayne. He wrote about things like when and where the first cotton blossom was spotted, or who had found a sweet potato that looked like Charles de Gaulle. His readers loved it. After writing for papers in Norfolk, Raleigh, and Detroit, Roberts joined the staff of the New York Times. There, he became one of the first people to report in depth on how the Civil Rights Revolution was affecting the lives of ordinary people and how the Vietnam War affected ordinary soldiers in that desperate conflict. In 1972, Roberts took a chance on the struggling Philadelphia Inquirer. Over the next 18 years, he turned what had been a rag wrung dry, but by its much larger rival, the Philadelphia Bulletin, into a top 10 newspaper. During his tenure, the Inquirer won 17 Pulitzers, including 2 gold medals for public service. Upon leaving the Inquirer, Roberts joined the faculty of the University of Maryland's College of Journalism. He taught courses on writing complex stories, the press and the civil rights movement, and newsroom management. In 1994, Roberts returned to the New York Times to guide the paper's move to become a national newspaper in fact as well as name. He retired in 1997 to return to his faculty position at the University of Maryland. In 1990, the staff of the Philadelphia Inquirer and Knight Ridder endowed the Eugene L. Roberts Prize in Carolina's School of Journalism and Mass Communication. This annual award goes to a student whose story idea is, quote, one that is dedicated to the untold event that oozes instead of breaks, to the story that reveals, not repeats. In 2006, Roberts and his co-author, Hank Klibanoff, won a Pulitzer Prize for The Race Beat, hailed as a highly important study of how journalists covered the civil rights movement. For outstanding accomplishments in the field of journalism, the University of North Carolina is pleased to confer on Eugene Leslie Roberts, Jr., the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Eugene Leslie Roberts, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, by the state of North Carolina, and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Will Dr. Beverly Taylor please conduct forward Fred Colson Robinson?
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present Fred Colson Robinson, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Simply speaking, Fred Robinson is the foremost North American scholar of the earliest recorded period of English language and literature. Robinson earned his PhD in English and Comparative Linguistics from Carolina in 1961. His colleagues at Carolina agree that he is the most distinguished living alumnus of our graduate program in English. Robinson is a philologist in the original sense of that word. He is a lover of words. His ability to bring to life old words from the past, in turn, underlies his criticism of literature in English in all periods. His reputation is based not just on his large output of scholarly books and articles, but more so on the quality and originality of the research they contain. Almost everything he has written has contributed new knowledge and perspectives to the field. His scholarship ranges from editions of Old English works, a major literary reappraisal of Beowulf, philological notes, and an introductory grammar for students of Old English. All these endeavors have been informed by meticulous scholarship, judicious interpretive skills, and a broad humanistic approach to Old English language and literature. His contributions to scholarship have been recognized repeatedly by distinguished fellowships, and his excellence as a teacher won for him Yale University's William Clyde Devane Medal in undergraduate teaching. In 1998, 2 distinguished scholars who pursued graduate studies under his direction edited a book of essays in his honor entitled Words and Work. The title echoes a passage in Beowulf explaining that one must judge others both by their words and their works. In the preface, the editors wrote, "His achievements as a scholar emanate from his love of words as the resonant constituents of language, and his love of works as the larger forms into which words cohere." Robinson's service to the world of scholarship includes serving as president of the Medieval Academy of America, founding member of the advisory board of the International Society of Anglo-Saxonists, chief editor of the journal Anglistica, and founding editorial board member of Anglo-Saxon England. In recognition and deep appreciation of his outstanding contribution to scholarship in the humanities, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Fred Colson Robinson the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
Fred Colson Robinson, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Thank you, Fred.
Will Dean Jack Boger please conduct forward Patricia Timmins Goodson?
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present Patricia Timmins Goodson, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Patricia Timmins Goodson received her Bachelor of Arts and Juris Doctor degrees from Carolina in 1976 and 79, respectively. She began her legal career as a prosecutor in the office of the Cumberland County District Attorney. In 1984, at the age of only 29, she was appointed District Court Judge, a position she held for 13 years until she was elevated to the North Carolina Court of Appeals in 1997. Timmins Goodson retired from the Court of Appeals in 2005, thinking that she had completed her service to North Carolina. But within only a few months, Governor Easley asked her to accept appointment to the North Carolina Supreme Court. She is the first African-American woman to serve as a judge in her home county of Cumberland, the first to be elected to any state appellate court, and the first to serve on North Carolina's highest court. At Timmins Goodson's induction ceremony, Chief Justice Sarah Parker pointed out that this was the first time that the court had had two women among its 7 jurists at the same time. As a Carolina undergraduate, Timmins Goodson was inducted into the Order of the Valkyries and the Order of the Old Well in recognition of her outstanding leadership abilities. She is a member of the Central Selection Committee for the Morehead Keynes Scholarships and has served on the Board of Directors of the General Alumni Association. On University Day 2008, she administered the oath of office to Carolina's 10th Chancellor, Holden Thorpe. Timmins Goodson's many honors and awards include the 2007 William R. Davie Award, the General Alumni Association's Distinguished Young Alumni Award, the Order of the Longleaf Pine, and honorary degrees from Johnson C. Smith University and St. Augustine's College. For outstanding accomplishments in the field of jurisprudence, the University of North Carolina is pleased to confer on Patricia Timmins Goodson the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Patricia Timmins Goodson, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws. Before Allie McBeal, the practice, and Boston Legal. And before Law and Order became a franchise, there was John Grisham. As an international best-selling author of the 1990s, Grisham perfected the art of the modern legal thriller in a breathtaking series of books from A Time to Kill and The Firm to The Innocent Man and The Associate. He has written 23 books, all of which are available in print, audio, and now digital formats. More than 250 million copies have been sold worldwide, and his works have been translated into 29 languages. 9 of his books have been made into movies. Grisham's heroes have been portrayed by no less than Tom Cruise, Julia Roberts, Susan Sarandon, Matthew McConaughey, Chris O'Donnell, John Cusack, and Matt Damon. I doubt any other author could match that list. John's passionate commitment to social justice plays out in his fiction. One reviewer noted that no other writer is quite so keen-eyed or as fierce a social critic. He's an idealist, but not an optimist, a moralist, but not a moralizer. His heroes are often young lawyers facing off against powerful and corrupt enemies. In their quest for justice, they triumph by abandoning the rules and exhibiting what one observer called moral pluck. Grisham has plenty of moral pluck himself, devoting considerable time to charitable causes. He serves on the board of the Innocence Project, a litigation and public policy organization dedicated to exonerating the wrongfully convicted. After Hurricane Katrina, he established the Rebuild the Coast Fund, raising $8.8 million for hurricane relief projects. For those of you who are still worrying about your career choices, you might be reassured to hear that John Grisham had 2 careers before finding his calling as a writer. First as an attorney, and second as a member of the Mississippi House of Representatives. And he did not major in English. Instead, he holds a Bachelor of Science in Accounting from Mississippi State University and a Juris Doctor from the University of Mississippi Law School. And though I do not list it on my personal CV, I'm very proud of the fact that on page 147 in The Associate, there's a Dr. Thorpe. Thank you, John. And it's not in his official bio, but I have it on great authority that he is also a passionate follower of Carolina basketball. Please welcome Carolina's great friend, John Grisham.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Holden Thorpe. Thanks to you and the university, to the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the graduates for the invitation to be here. I'm honored to address the class of 2010. To the graduates, congratulations upon this day. Your hard work and perseverance have brought you to this milestone, and you are to be commended. Your families and friends are here, and they are very proud. Make this day last as long as possible. Take lots of pictures, give lots of smiles and hugs. Savor it. It is truly unique. I have been here before. 2 years ago, I was sitting out there as a proud parent watching my daughter graduate from UNC. That day was not quite as pretty as today. The weather looked bad. The forecast was dreadful. The skies were dark and threatening. It looked bad. At the last moment, the decision was made to keep the festivities here and not move them indoors. And just as the graduates were about to march in, a tropical depression settled on Chapel Hill, and the bottom fell out. The rain began, driving, howling, cold wind with no end in sight. James Measer was the chancellor then. Most of the crowd scattered. We were soaked. It was awful. It was wonderful. James Measer, who was also soaking wet, finally decided to just dispense with all formalities. With one wave of the hand, sort of like Moses, he converted 5,000 degrees. And we got out of here. It was a very short commencement. There were no speeches. Maybe it wasn't all bad. I don't know. With that day in mind, I am very grateful to see sunshine in a sky that is Carolina blue. I've been watching the weather for 2 months. I'm just as proud today because my wife, Renee, is a member of the class of 2010. She is finishing her work for a degree in English, work that I interrupted almost 30 years ago when I convinced her to get married. I'm not sure she wanted to back then, but we did anyway. It's a big day for our family. Some of you are sad to be leaving, probably in shock that your time here has gone by so quickly. Others are no doubt thrilled to be getting out of here. I guess. Regardless of how you feel now, your emotional attachment to this place will only deepen as the years go by, and you will find yourself drawn back time and time again. I have never met a Tar Heel who did not let it be known, usually within the first 30 seconds of a conversation, that he was in fact a Tar Heel or that she loved her days in Chapel Hill. Let's face it, it's a great school. We all know it. There's so much to be proud of. You are leaving, but you're not going to be forgotten. Whether you are graduating with honors or without. Regardless of what you studied or didn't study, you will not be forgotten. There are people on this campus who work in what's called development. That's another word for fundraising, and they're watching you even as we speak. They will follow you. They're very friendly. They'll send you letters, birthday cards, Christmas cards. And at first you may be flattered, but you'll soon learn these cards are very expensive. They will expect cards in return. Pledge cards, commitment cards, they even take credit cards. They will follow you well into your old age, and when you die, they will expect a sizable chunk of your estate. You will not be forgotten. But don't be irritated. These are good folks, and they really, really want you to succeed. The generosity of others has played a major role in building this great institution. Those who have walked here before you have enriched your learning experience. It's important for you to give as a way of saying thanks, but also to invest in future generations. Give because others have given for you. Now, I have never written a long book, and I've never given a long speech. This one will last for 17 minutes from top to bottom. So hang on, I'm almost finished. Before I close, though, I am expected to at least try to say something significant, something you might remember for more than 24 hours. Certain things are expected in commencement speeches, and I don't want you leaving here feeling as though you didn't get your money's worth. Not that I'm getting paid, but that's no big deal. On campuses this spring across the country, commencement speakers are saying such things as, the future is yours, take control of your destiny, set your goals high, so on and so forth. These platitudes don't mean a whole lot, and I don't use them. You really don't want to hear them. Of course the future is yours. Who else would want it? Take it, you can have it. We've had our chance and made a royal mess of things. I'm sure you can do better. I expect you will. Advice is common during these speeches. Someone who has been out there comes back here and shares a few nuggets of wisdom, a few tips on how to survive and succeed. Advice is very easy to give and even easier not to follow. So I don't fool with it. You don't want to hear it. You don't need the advice. You've got the brains, the talent, and now the education. You're going to live your life the way you want to. You'll figure it out. On a couple of occasions, I have given a speech that I call the top 10 reasons you should stay in college until you are 30 years old. You got a few laughs and had a little wisdom to it, but I realized it really wasn't being heard. You wouldn't hear it now. Let's face it. You're done. You're finished. You're ready to get out of here. It's time to move on. I stopped giving that speech because the hate mail from the parents was so vicious. Actually, I do have one piece of advice. I guess sometimes we just can't help ourselves. Call home at least once a week. See? It's a proven fact that we call home less frequently the older we get. And that's wrong. It should be the other way around. As we get older, our parents get older. Email, Facebook, text, that's all good. Call home once a week so your parents can hear your voice and you can hear theirs. Okay, one more piece of advice. Read at least one book a month. Now, okay. That may not sound like much, but the big publishing companies in New York have spent a lot of money studying you and your reading habits. You have terrified them. They cannot figure you out. They don't know how many of you in 5 years will be reading books on Kindles, iPads, Nooks, Kobus, Sony e-readers. About half of the research suggests that you will read more because of these incredible devices. About half the research says you will read even less. They can't figure it out. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care if it's a hardback, paperback, e-book, or library book. Read. Reading stimulates the brain and the imagination. A video takes away your imagination. Now, this is self-serving, obviously. It's a proven fact that people who read buy more books than people who don't read, so. I'm always thinking about book sales. Can't help it. Truthfully, I wish you'd read 10 books a month, or at least buy that many. The most difficult part of writing a book is not devising a plot which will captivate the reader. It is not developing characters the reader will have strong feelings for or against. It is not finding a setting which will take the reader to a place he or she has never been. It is not the research, whether in fiction or in nonfiction. The most difficult task facing a writer is to find a voice in which to tell the story. A voice is pronunciation, diction, syntax, dialogue, plot, character, the ABCs of writing. But a writer's voice is much more. A writer's voice is the tone, the mood, the point of view, the consciousness, the sense of credibility. I have never thought of writing as hard work, but I have worked hard to find a voice. All writers do. Sometimes we are successful, often we are not. But long before the last chapter is finished, and often before the first chapter is started, we search and search to find a voice. Students of creative writing are constantly urged, find a voice in which to tell the story. And to do this, they are taught to try different techniques, different narrations, different points of view, all in an effort to find the voice. When a writer finds a voice, the words flow freely, the sentences become paragraphs and pages and chapters, and the story is told. The writer is heard, and the reader is rewarded. In this respect, writing is a lot like life itself. In life, a voice is much more than the sound we make when we talk. Infants and preschoolers have voices and can make a lot of noise. But a voice is more than sound. The voice of change, the voice of compassion, the voice of the future, the voice of his generation, the voice of her people. We hear this all the time. Voices, not words. There are over 5,600 of you in the class of 2010, and I doubt seriously right now if any one of you believes that you will leave here today, go out into the world, start your career, and not be heard. Isn't that one of our greatest fears? We will not be heard. No one will listen to us. When we are ready to lead, there's no one to follow. But to be heard, you must find a voice. For your ideas to be accepted, for your arguments to be believed, for your work to be admired, you must find a voice. A voice has three essential elements. The first is clarity. When I was in high school, I discovered the novels of John Steinbeck. He was and is my favorite writer. The Grapes of Wrath is a book I've read more than all others. I admire his talent for telling a story, his compassion for the underdog, but what I really admire is his ability to write so clearly. His sentences are often rich in detail and complex, but they flow with a clarity that I still envy. His characters are flawed and tragic, often complicated, but you understand them because they have been so clearly presented. In life, we tend to ignore those who talk in circles, saying much but saying nothing. We listen to and follow those whose words and ideas and thoughts and intentions are clear. The second element is authenticity. Few things I like better in life than getting lost in a good book written by an author who is in full command of his subject matter, either because he has lived the story or so thoroughly researched it. I read a lot of books written by other lawyers, legal thrillers as they are called. I read them because I enjoy them. Also, I have to keep an eye on the competition. I can usually tell by page 3 if the author has actually been in a fight in a courtroom or whether he simply watched too much television. In life, we tend to discredit those who claim to be what they are not. We respect those who know their subject matter. We long for and respect credibility. The third element is veracity. In the past few years, the publishing industry has been scandalized by a handful of writers who wrote very compelling stories of their real-life adventures. These were good stories. They were well written. The voices were clear and seemingly authentic. They sold for big money. They were marketed aggressively. They were reviewed favorably. And then they were exposed for being what they really were: frauds, fabrications, lies. The real-life adventures never happened. The books were pulled from the shelves. The publishers were embarrassed. Lawsuits were filed to retrieve the advances. And the writers' voices have been forever silenced. In life, finding a voice is speaking and living the truth. Each of you is an original. Each of you has a distinctive voice. When you find it, your story will be told. You will be heard. The size of your audience doesn't matter. What's important is that your audience is listening. You are lucky to have studied here, lucky and deserving. Many, many applied, and only you were chosen. You have been superbly educated, but now your time is up. You have to go. You can't stay here until you're 30. And besides, on August 21st, the freshmen will be here to replace you. One final thought. Right now, you want to be something. You have big dreams, big plans, big ideas, big ambitions. You want to be something. Don't ever forget what you want to be right now. The future has arrived. It commences now. Good luck.
Thank you, John, for your inspiring words. We now turn to the conferral of the degrees. First, I want to recognize our outstanding undergraduate students. Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees with highest honors please rise and remain standing? Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees with honors please rise and remain standing? Seniors graduating with honors and highest honors are exceptionally accomplished students who exemplify the highest possible level of undergraduate scholarship. Congratulations on this outstanding achievement. You may be seated. I now call upon the deans of the university in the order of the anniversary date of each college to present their candidates for doctoral, master's, and baccalaureate degrees. Will Dean Karen Gill please come forward to present the students from the College of Arts and Sciences?
Mr. Chancellor, I am most pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of City and Regional Planning, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science. Will these students please rise? Congratulations.
Please be seated. Will Dean Jack Boger please come forward to present the students from the School of Law?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Juris Doctor. Will those students please rise?
Will Dean William Roper please come forward to present the students from the School of Medicine?
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Medicine, Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Master of Physical Therapy, Master of Science in Rehabilitation, Counseling and Psychology, Speech Language Pathology, and Occupational Therapy, Bachelor of Science in Clinical Laboratory Science, and Bachelor of Science in Radiologic Science. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Bill McDermott please come forward to present the students from the School of Education?
Mr. Chancellor, I'm delighted to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Education, Master of School Administration, and Bachelor of Arts in Education. Will these candidates please rise?
Will Pamela Joyner, Associate Dean for Professional Education, please come forward to present the students from the Eshelman School of Pharmacy?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Pharmacy, Master of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean James Dean please come forward to present the students from the Kenan-Flagler Business School?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Accounting, Master of Business Administration, and Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Jack Richmond please come forward to present the students from the School of Social Work?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased and proud to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Social Work. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Gene Folkerts please come forward to present the students from the School of Journalism and Mass Communication?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, and Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Gary Marcianini please come forward to present the students from the School of Information and Library Science?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science in Information Science, Master of Science in Library Science, and Bachelor of Science in Information Science. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Barbara Reimer please come forward to present the students from the Gilang School of Global Public Health?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Public Health, Master of Healthcare Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Science, Master of Sciences in Environmental Sciences and Engineering, Master of Science in Public Health, and Bachelor of Science in Public Health. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean John Williams please come forward to present the students from the School of Dentistry?
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates of Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Dental Surgery, Master of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Kristen Swanson please come forward to present the students from the School of Nursing?
Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased and honored to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science in Nursing, and Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Mike Smith please come forward to present the students from the School of Government?
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Public Administration. Will these students please rise?
All degree candidates, please rise. By virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, by the state of North Carolina, and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which the faculty has certified you, together with all the rights and privileges thereunto pertaining, and I offer you my warmest congratulations. Please be seated. I now invite Maggie Stafira to say a few words on behalf of the class of 2010. At the conclusion of her remarks, she will be joined by Sebastian Williams, Vice President of the senior class. Together they will lead the undergraduates in turning their tassels, signifying your graduation from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Maggie.
We did it! And now comes the hard part. Now comes the part when we leave this place to go and do what we said we would when people started asking us in October, what are you going to do next? How could we know what to say when the real question we were asking ourselves was, what am I going to be for Halloween? Truth be told, college graduation was far from being on our minds. But here it is. College is over, the leases are running out, the last few items on the bucket list are being crossed off, and our friends are meeting our extended family for the first time. It is really here. The end we all knew was coming, and a beginning we're just starting to figure out. And how exciting! If we judge how the rest of our lives will be by the happiness contained in the past 4 years alone, think of how much we have to look forward to. Tremendous opportunities await us all because of what we did here. We are this university's pride. She is the great teacher who gave us new life and the sanctuary in which we learn to become the people we're going to be. The song we sing in her honor is known by heart to all of us. And the last two verses, which are rarely sung, hark truth by her name. 'Neath the oaks, thy sons and daughters, homage pay to thee. Time-worn walls give back their echo, hail to UNC. Though the storms of life assail us, still our hearts beat true. Naught can break the friendships formed at dear old NCU. When you hear the first line, 'Neath the oaks, thy sons and daughters, homage pay to thee, what do you think of? Do you think of the trees, the Davy poplar, sunny days and playing frisbee on McCorkle? Will you remember walking through North Campus and the way the light dipped through the leaves on Polk Place? Will you remember the pit and the smell of a fresh coat of newly painted cubes? Do you hear the sounds of student election campaigning? A crazy preacher. Calls to dance for the kids, the noontime line of hungry people waiting outside Lenore, and the sounds of muffled footsteps as the crowd of people lean in just a little bit closer to hear the a cappella songs. Can you feel the dark and quiet stillness lit only by the study lights of Davis and the undergraduate library? Except, of course, on that one night when a sudden band of streakers and the cops running after them momentarily punctuate the silence. Will you remember? Will you remember what it means when they say, time-worn walls give back their echo, hail to UNC? What will you tell your children about this place? Will you tell them how its history is unlike any other? The first public university in the country and a child of the Revolution, how UNC rose from the 18th century forces of political liberty and public enlightenment, the two symbols now etched in her official seal, Lux Libertas. Will you tell them of her greatness, a greatness measured by the faculty, the administration, and the staff who fight for her best interests, the students, the Carolina way? Will you tell them what it's like to touch these walls and feel the wisdom of a place that knows all too well where she has been and to where she goes? And when you think of glory, will you tell them how it feels to be victorious? Will you remember how fast you ran, heart pounding, with thousands of people as they rushed their street together, hug strangers, scream the Tar Heel fight song amid cheering crowds? Will you tell them how it feels to be no other's equal? And when you face hard times, and we all will, think back to those words, though the storms of life assail us, still our hearts beat true. And remember how we have endured great loss. Through tragedy, we found each other in grief and came together in healing. Our strength has been tested, our courage has been proven, and we walk away as the angels of our better nature. And while separate we may go, together we remain, for naught can break the friendships formed at dear old NCU. And this, perhaps above all else, is the real meaning of what we did here. The people we have met who have changed our lives forever. Thank them. Tell them what they've meant to you and keep them in heart and mind for the rest of your life. They will always be the ones who knew you when. So, as this chapter to a longer story ends, remember what we did here. Remember this place is more than just her buildings. There is more here than brick paths, grassy quads, and old well. Remember when you look up that it will never be just a light blue sky. There is magic here, a place of solace, a place of people who are our family, a timeless place that will always be our home. Lucky are those whose paths continue to lead them forward, and luckier still are they who can find their way back. So when they ask us, what are you going to do next? We will tell them what we know. We tell them that we go forth to pursue our careers, our lives, our futures. And although we are ready to go, we do so knowing that we are leaving a place that will never really leave us. May we always find our way back to Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Hi, everybody. Could all my friends in blue please stand up with us? As Vice President of the senior class, it is my honor and privilege to lead us in turning our tassels, signifying our new status of a graduate. On the count of 3, let's turn our tassels and toss our caps. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations and thank you.
Welcome, all of you, to the ranks of the alumni of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This is the beginning of a new chapter in your lives, and I wish each of you and every one of you the very best as you embark on your new adventures. Most of you are leaving Chapel Hill, at least for a time, but you will always be part of the ongoing saga of Carolina. You leave here with the knowledge that behind you is a cohort of people who are proud of you, have deep faith in your abilities, and care about what happens to you. We know this from experience. You will change the world. If you don't know how yet, you're right on schedule. During your world-changing adventures, remember that you represent Carolina and its values. A love of knowledge, a dedication to freedom, and a passion for helping others. The university's motto is light and liberty. When you leave Chapel Hill, you carry that light with you, and I know it will help you transform the future. We can't wait to watch. You earned your degree through your own hard work and the support of your family and friends, but you were also supported by North Carolinians through the investment of their tax dollars and by the many private donors who also believe in the importance of higher education. We know that you will repay these investments many times over. In turn, we promise to work tirelessly to ensure that Carolina remains what it has always been, the best university in the world. Let us know how we can help. Come back to visit, and please keep Carolina in your mind. We want to thank Jeff Fuchs, director of the University Band, and his fine musicians for providing us with music today. We also want to show our appreciation to the student marshals for their assistance today. At the conclusion of this ceremony, we ask that all our guests exit the stadium by going up the stairs and out of the stadium the same way you came in. Please do not come down to the field, as the only exit at the field is reserved for those with disabilities. I would now like to welcome my good friends, the UNC Cliffhangers, who will perform Carolina in My Mind. And after our performance, I invite Catherine Margaret Park to return to the podium to lead us in singing Hark the Sound. Please remain in your seats until the platform party exits.
Congratulations. Thanks a lot, man. Congratulations, John. Congratulations, Ryan. All right. David, congratulations.
It's PC version, they're both slow.
Yeah, no gimmicks, only salute. This is the national television.
No gimmicks. So we up or they up?
We're up. Ready?
In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind.
Karen, she's a silver sun. You best walk her way and watch her shining. Watch her, watch the morning come. A silver tear appearing now. I'm crying and I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love's the finest thing around. She whispers something soft and kind. Hey babe, my sky's on fire, I'm dying, ain't I? I'm gone to Carolina in my mind.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine?
And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind.
Dark and silent late last night, might have heard the highway calling, geese in flight, dogs that bite. The signs they might be omens say, I'm going, gone to Carolina in my mind.
And with the holy host of others standing around me, still I'm on the dark side of the moon. And it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me if I'm up and gone to Carolina in my mind.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? And can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone, Carolina, in my mind. Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. I'm gone. Yes, I'm gone. Won't you say nice things about me when I'm gone? Won't you carry on without me? Yes, I'm gone.
Singing Carolina's praises.
Thank you.